All right, so a very quick run through what happened today. Yesterday, I mentioned how the DXY had a nice hammer here. This is the fourth pivot on this ascending. And I did suggest most likely going to 105. That's exactly what we did. In fact, we closed at 105, just above 105, higher than these, higher days. So that suggests continuation is coming. Where do we go next? Well, probably to this area, and then we'll see. But maybe we test 106.5. We'll see, otherwise, of course, once we close below this ascending, especially 104, then we're going lower. But I still think we are likely to go up. Why? Well, first of all, today was quite nice for the dollar bulls. I mean, that was a bullish close. It looks like we're going to go higher. Again, that hammer on the ascending helped out. But I think it's yields, and I did mention this also. Yields are going higher, today, especially the 30 and the 10-year. Look at that. Caught up with the two that basically did nothing. I did say yesterday, watch the 2-year closing above 5. To be honest, 5.05 would be the most bullish close. A close above 5.05, and you're pretty much testing the highs of the bear market. I call it the bear market. It's just gone up, hasn't it? But the recession, whatever you want to call it. So ever since inflation has taken hold. So 2-year didn't really do much, but it's really about the 30 catching up. Look at that candle, the 10-year equal candle catching up the 5-year, pretty equal candle, and the 2 and the 1-year didn't really do anything. But one more day, and we're going to go there. So maybe end of week, we've got all of the yields testing, or maybe even closing above their horizontal resistance. And what comes next? Well, that will help the dollar continue to its sort of 106. What is it? 106.5. Yeah, resistance. I don't know if it'll get there in one go, but yeah, actually, if yields, especially the 2-year, if that starts to run towards this zone, 5.25 after closing above here, the DXY should go test 106.5, if not higher. So that's something that we need to look at as gold and silver bulls, because although we haven't cared about the DXY, and kind of rightfully so, and even yields, because gold can go up regardless of the dollar and yields. I mean, sometimes they inversely correlated, so dollar and yields go up and gold goes down. That's usually what happens, but you can make the case that they can go up together, right? Safety trade, for example, or the fear of inflation. To me, ultimately, gold and silver is just going to go up regardless. You could have days where it goes, one goes up, the other goes down, but overall, you zoom out 3 months into whatever pattern's playing out. I think gold's going up. But yeah, the point is dollar up, yields up. And is that starting to affect gold and silver? Today, it did affect gold. You can see gold went down 1%. That's a mediocre move. But silver went up. And remember, I said there was like a contradiction yesterday. I said, I do think actually silver was unchanged by the end, but still with gold up and silver unchanged, that's quite a big difference. We do see it, but it's pretty rare. But the point is, I said yesterday, the silver squeeze will continue, although I was a little unnerved by what might happen with the miners because of the markets, because of the dollar and yields. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened today. It's very rare. And it surprised me, even though it's kind of one of the scenarios I was laying out, silver up, miners down. Very rare, but it happened. So okay, silver just went sideways. It was up at some point. It was also down earlier on the day, but it was sideways whilst gold went down. So what I think might happen now, and no real benefit in predicting constantly, but I do feel like gold will go lower because the dollar yields, but we will get support around here. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 2,300. I mean, that'll give us a bounce on a 15-minute basis, but on the daily, does it close above 2,300? Yeah, 2,300. Or do we actually go back down here and then find support on this horizontal? So for me, this will be a support zone, and so will 2,300. Those two will be support zones. And even if we flush, it's about where we close on the daily. We could still close above 2280. Let's call it 2280, the support down here. And if we don't, we've got so much support on the way down, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, like trying to get it as cheap as possible, because I'll be buying miners into this dip. I think a lot of people will be too. Maybe there'll be some people freaking out because there could be a bit of a flush accelerating. You could have momentum short sellers come in. You could have people stopping out. Whatever the case, usually, and the algorithms come in. So You could have a bit of cascade and some light hands just freaking out, thinking, "Oh no, did I just buy the top?" No, you didn't. Relax. Big picture, you know. So let's see. I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy tomorrow, but let's see if 2300 holds if we do go down. And if we go lower than that, 2280, I don't see us going for a daily close below 2280. And silver, on the other hand, is doing its own thing. Yes, it's getting dragged down a tiny bit when gold goes down or when the dollar and yields go up, but today it was pretty independent. So silver, I feel like whilst gold goes down, silver might just flag. It might just go, like this is not a good picture at all, but you know what I mean? Just sort of grind lower as gold goes down. And then I'll draw my absolutely loved descending. And then at one point, it'll just take it out, retest and up. And then within 3 days, we're testing this zone again. And this time we're breaking and running. And then you zoom out and you think, oh my God, it was just a continuation. It was just, bull flag. When it does this, it's a bull flag actually. And then up we go. So this just could be postponed, this 3250 breakout, whilst gold just sort of drifts lower. And for me, I don't mind. It's all about the miners, really, because I'm heavily invested in the miners. I am heavy in. I've still got a decent amount of sidelines, not as much as I traditionally have, but I am looking to use that. Now let's look at the miners. Unlike silver, and this again is what I reiterated yesterday, I fear that the miners, although they've got everything aligned for them, they could take a little bit of a drop with what's happening with the dollar, yields, and the markets. I didn't even show the markets. I know a lot of you don't care about the markets, and I've stopped caring because it just keeps going up. But okay, the S&P, to be honest, doesn't look that bad. It was down 0.5%. But look at the Dow. Look at that drop. Everyone talking about 40,000 hats. They always have that 40K, 30K, whatever. Down, we go from 40 down to 38. This is quite a decent drop. This is a line I used to have, but let's be honest, the one that really counts is this one down here. We could bounce here, a little gap, whatever. We don't care about the general markets, but the market went down pretty hard. Look at the Russell, though. It gets more interesting when you look at the smaller caps, let's say. Let's zoom out. No all-time highs. I covered this yesterday because I already was quite sure that the markets would tumble a bit more. Now, more important than the Russell and tied in with the Russell is, and I'm going straight to the small regional banks. Look at this, another drop. I mentioned it also yesterday. If we have continuation tomorrow, and we could, right, yields going up, that is the Achilles heel of this type of sector, small regional banks, especially the small ones. If yields and dollar go up, just yields actually, down we go to here, right? Clear support. And what happens if we lose that? Now, that's not going to happen. Today, if we do have a drop, this will hold. And then Friday, they might have a bounce. This is now nullified, by the way. If we start to move down here, which is the next support, I need to redo these lines. I've stopped caring about it since the market just started to go crazy. But, this never really fully recovered. We're far from the all-time highs. Everything else took out their all-time highs and kept running. This thing, what I'm trying to say is, one, small bounce, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 days later, we're down testing this ascending. And if we're testing this ascending, that's very weak because you'll have a bounce and then down you go. So, and then you're talking about bear market lows. So what is the effect on the miners? That's what I'm trying to link it to. And today, the miners went down because the markets went down. The markets went down because yields went up. And that is the old pattern that we stopped caring about, but it just got reintroduced today, just as the squeeze is at its highs. And silver's squeeze was postponed today because of this. So I'm not going to show you all the miners. They basically reflect what we just saw in the GDXJ. I say that and then I start showing you. Some of them are still holding there, ascending. I nibbled out of one or two, very small stuff. I just want a little bit more sidelines because I still see a bit of a drop coming. So I've been a bit indecisive all the way up here. There was last week I bought. Yesterday I sold, nibbled out tiny stuff. It's not even worth mentioning. Today again, tiny stuff. It's little amounts. But look at this, I can imagine once you lose the ascending, you've actually got always this little horizontal support. So for me, it's this one. Once you close below this 40, then you're gonna drop a bit. But again, one thing I will say though is if and even when we do get a flush, like imagine DXY and Yields are going up, markets going down. Down goes GDXJ, maybe even more than the markets. I saw it today at one point at the beginning, especially, or maybe even throughout. But anyway, maybe you saw it too. The miners were leading, not leading the markets, but they were underperforming the markets, right? They were like, as the markets were just sort of going sideways, I saw GDX just make new lows. I thought, whoa. And then 3, 4, 5 minutes later, the market makes new lows, and that further accelerates the drop in the GDX. Now, we didn't have a crazy down day, but it's little things like that, where you see the GDXJ going lower, making a new low of day before the general markets, while silver's looking like it's going to make new highs and it's green. That's weakness. And it's not like we've been very weak for a while. We've been unbelievably strong. So it's relative weakness, it's underperformance, and it's just another reason why I sold, nibbled out tiny stuff like Fortuna. I nibbled out after hours yesterday. I nibbled out a little bit more today because I was really high. It's had a crazy run. Pearl d'Arlen, I had a green day. I'll show you real quick. So Newmont, red day, still holding ascending. I'm watching for this here. Barrick Gold, look at that, close at low of day, testing this. This could flush quickly down to here. This has been weak relative to other seniors, actually. So 1620s would be the first and only real support that I'm interested in buying for Barrick Gold. It could get there like in 2 bad days. Agnico, yesterday reclaimed this ascending, today, bam, back down. Got to watch that little close below this prior low, and down it goes. This one won't go down much. What a buy. Pan American Silver. This is one I nibbled. It's worth way too much. It's the highest. It was the heaviest holding, so I nibbled out like um I don't even know how much I nibbled out. I want to say like 5% or something, tiny stuff. This one still did quite well actually. I'm holding all the way up here, but look at this gap fill. That's a magnet. Otherwise, down here is next level. Otherwise, down there, loads of support. You're gonna have fun buying this if it starts to flush, which it won't. SSRM, haven't touched that. I sold this one back here, but this one looks weak. Look at that. It's already taken out those candles of this week. So that's underperforming the others. Wheaton, yeah, I mean, that's always strong, but it's had a little drop. It's lost the ascending. Franco Nevada, I usually cover right after Wheaton. Pretty similar pattern, once we close below this, down we go. So you can see they're all having pretty similar patterns. Metallic doesn't though. That was quite strong. I felt look almost unchanged. Actually had quite a green moment during the day. So that one, and I said it yesterday, this one's destined to test 315, close above it. I'm happy with my recent addings to this one. First Majestic, honestly, that was quite weak a while ago, but it's not as weak as some of the other. Well, actually, no, what am I talking about? Today is down almost 5%, Jesus. But it's still holding the ascending. So there's that going for it. But it's quite a big drop, actually. I've only just noticed that now. Otherwise, Fortuna, this one looks just amazingly strong. I just nibbled out a tiny bit because it's worth so much. And it would just be a shame to give back so much. So small stuff, CDE, this one, usually my favorite, but hasn't gone up as much, but still fantastic uptrend. It was green today, just nibbled a tiny bit out. I mean, if silver just squeezes, honestly, some of these silver stocks should just keep going up regardless of the markets. But there you go. That's what I noticed today. That's why I took a tiny bit of action. EXK, this one, I either nibbled today or yesterday, I forgot. But that's just like Fortuna, just absolutely straight up. Max Silver is okay, not bad. I am Gold, okay. You can see some of them have this, they're holding the ascending, but they're just one day away from losing it. Equinox, a bit of a special chart pattern, quite weak there, down 3%. Could end up going to where my first and only buying was. I bought that was it 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. SBSW, I think I've forgotten one or two stocks. This one I didn't follow too much because it's more platinum palladium. But yeah, oh, B2 Gold I bought today. I bought this one today. So another contradiction. I'm selling some up here, but I'm buying B2 Gold. I just really wanted it. I bought it at 280, 281 early on before I really considered the likeliness of this continuing, DXY and yields going up, markets going down, and the GDX going down with the market. So for me, next stop, honestly, is probably going to be I don't know. I think I want to give it some room in case we have a real flush. I don't know. I don't know whether I'll buy it low 270s or I'll wait for a 250, but I doubt 250 comes back. So, and to be honest, this entire range, I've got to keep the big picture. I tell you guys to keep a big picture, and then I go against my own advice. This entire range is the same thing. Zoom out. Where are you? 2.5 years from now, when this is at 750, it doesn't matter whether you bought 270 or 250. It makes no difference. Again, retirable stuff. So there you go. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. No, that's it. It's a good. I still think miners will be fantastic by the dip opportunities. It's just how low can they go? You get greedy, not selling when it goes up, but you can also be greedy and not buy as it goes down, expecting it to get cheaper and cheaper. So don't miss the dip. And remember, the trend is your friend, and the trend in the miners and the metals is up. We are in a bull market now. You've got to shake off the old thinking that it keeps going down. That's not the case, but I think you do need to have a bit of patience because we could have a bit of a move play out here. We've had a lot of strength for some time in the miners, and it could, what might happen, what I think will happen here with yields going up, it could scare some people because the general markets have just gone up. Let's look at the Nasdaq last thing, just gone up, 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 non-stop. It's ridiculous, right? This is the bear market lows. It's completely wild. I thought we were going to go lower, at the lows down there. Instead, we've gone up like almost 100, 75%. Absolutely crazy. We haven't had a big drop in a while. When was the last time we had a -4% day in the Nasdaq? And I think that's what we should get at least back to this area. I don't know. So watch out. Markets could keep going down. Yields, dollars up. And what happens to the miners? And does the silver squeeze continue, or is it just going to go sideways until this sell-off is over and then resume the uptrend? Let me know what you think. Otherwise, good luck.